Chapter 4. Where's the future? Caitlyn sits in the cell. The floor is covered in blood. She can see the clear foot and boot prints Vi left just hours ago. Even though a guard came by with a mop and a bucket not long after a fight, heartbroken, she couldn't bring herself to move from Vi's bunk. The Kierman's influence isn't enough to get an update on Vi's condition. She fears the reason why is because Vi had died from hair injuries. At some point, the shock of the situation fades, enough for Caitlyn to pry herself from the bunk, and starts the long process of erasing Vi's blood from their shared room. It's strange not having Vi around. Caitlyn didn't notice how much noise the redhead makes, or even how much she fills her day with conversation. She really misses watching Vi work out from the corner of her eye as she pretends to read a book. The Kierman's heart clenches. She thinks about Vi saying she loved her. Under different circumstances, Caitlyn would chalk it up to Vi's usual teasing, just to get a reaction from her. The smaller woman said it, knowing she didn't have a chance against her enemy, and might not have another chance to proclaim her love. Caitlyn wipes the tears away with her thumb. She sits at the small metal table with an unopened letter a guard handed her. She doesn't want to open it. She can't take any more rejections or gaslighting from her mother. She takes a deep breath, knowing if she doesn't read the letter now, it will eat at her until she does. Caitlyn tears into the envelope and opens the thick paper. The letter is handwritten instead of typed, like her mother's. Dear Miss Kierman, I've reviewed your letter, and may I say, darling, I'm so sorry for the position you're in. For the life of me, I do not understand the amount of inconsistencies in your case. I know we only met briefly, but I knew you were a student with a bright future, with the potential to change the world. I can't let this injustice steal your future. I'm currently looking into your case. Please be patient, as an appeal can take some time. Be safe, my friend. Cecil B. Heimerdinger. Caitlyn sobs and clutches the letter to her chest. She can't believe someone's listening. Someone cares enough to look into her case. Almost a year in prison, and her college dean has done more for her hopes than her own mother. If Caitlyn ever gets released, she knows her original plan of taking over the family's shipping business is out the window. Now, she is motivated more than ever to help people like herself, stuck in a broken system that favors one with real legal counsel. The Kierman writes back. She requests if there's a way for the college to loan out law books to aid in her education. If she ever leaves this place, she's going back to finish her degree as a lawyer instead of a businesswoman. Caitlyn hasn't been this motivated since taking her last finals in college almost a year ago. Days later, she couldn't contain her frustration for the guards. They refused to give her any update on Vi, and they revoked her phone privileges for yelling at a guard. Caitlyn flops on Vi's bunk. She's taken it over as her own since the other woman was taken. She looks at the wall in front of her. She sees light bloodstains from Vi spending hours punching at the wall. At first, she didn't understand how someone could be so angry to hurt their hands with a brick wall. Now she's on the other side and wants to destroy the wall with all of her might. Caitlyn shreds an old undershirt and wraps her fist like Vi did. She then got to work on carving her knuckles against the wall like a meat crayon. It didn't take long for pain to override her anger, and she stands over the sink, soaking her hands. She cries herself to sleep on Vi's bunk and dreams that they are living together in the luxurious apartment her family owns. She dreams of Vi holding her tight in her arms, like nothing in the world is more important than this moment. Caitlyn wakes to cold water of reality, being in prison without Vi. She isn't sure how much longer she can take the solitude. Caitlyn didn't realize how much she depended on Vi, or how she never made any friends outside of her. Time slowly strings the emotional wreck that is Caitlyn along until she hears the knock on the door of her cell.
Inmate return.
Open cell 96. There she is, her hopes and dreams for the future. Vi. Hey, Cupcake. I hope you didn't wait too long. The guard rolls her eyes at the mushy display and closes the door before she sees something that will definitely make her want to burn her eyes out. Vi's forehead and hands are covered in thick pieces of gauze. Her left eye is covered with an eye patch. The redhead opens her arms to let her cellmate crush her in a hug.
Vi, your face.
Caitlyn carefully holds her cheek.
What happened? Why were you gone for so long?
Vi grabs the hand on her cheek and brings it to her lips. She misses Caitlyn's smooth skin. Savika broke my eye socket and detached my retina. My face will recover, but I don't think her dignity will. Caitlyn begrudgingly releases a smaller woman.
I was so worried. They wouldn't tell me if you were okay or even alive.
Vi lays on her bunk face first. Even though she hates this place, she is glad to be back in her own room without people staring at her at all hours of the day. She grins into her pillow that suspiciously smells like her cellmate's shampoo. They probably couldn't tell you since I'm not on record, remember? Caitlyn wants a double facepalm. She forgot Vi has a special situation.
Right, I forgot. It was hard to remember between watching you get beat to a pulp and cleaning your blood off the floor.
That's fair. Vi lifts her head to see Caitlyn is sitting on the edge of her bed, her hand caressing Vi's leg.
Wait, how are you able to keep your eye if Savika lost her arm?
Caitlyn pauses her gentle touches for a moment. Something isn't adding up. Well, being friends with a Kierman gives you plenty of bargaining power. All I had to tell him was, Miss Kierman won't appreciate it if I came back with my face looking worse. Vi sighs and rubs her aching hands. I'm also worried I might get addicted to the medical shimmer they put me on. Caitlyn smiles softly, trying to reassure her cellmate.
I doubt it. The amount of shimmer in those pills are so low.
Vi turns to hold Caitlyn's gaze, her voice sounding more afraid. Are we going to ignore the elephant in the room?
No. I was waiting until you were ready to speak. I'm sure you've been through enough. Why would I be so selfish?
The redhead scoffs. Selfish? No. Cupcake, you're not selfish. If anything, I am. Who really says I love you, then runs off like that? She buries her face in her pillow and screams. That was so cringe. Kill me now, Cupcake. Caitlyn smiles, content on having Vi in her life once again.
It was cheesy action movie levels of cringe.
She runs her finger through short red hair.
But that still raises the question. Do you love me?
Vi relinquishes her hiding place from the pillow to give Caitlyn a duh expression. Yeah, of course I do. You're hot, Cupcake.
You always have a way with words.
Caitlyn leans down and captures Vi's lips. She understands what people mean by the world stood still for a moment. A few cautious kisses later, the taller of the two is reading aloud a letter for Vi from her sister Powder.
What's up, blockhead? I wish you could send me a picture of her. She seems like a cutie. I think Vander and the boys would love to meet her.
Caitlyn pauses reading.
I'm assuming you said nice things about me.
Vi gives a cheeky smile followed by a thumbs up. My description of you was flawless. Now keep reading.
Speaking of your girlfriend, Heimerdinger is wanting to take on your case too because of her. He's helping me with my studies, and dude, his assistants are wild, like more crazy than I am. There's one guy named Victor. I'm pretty sure he hasn't slept since he was a baby. Then there's his boyfriend Jace. I'm not sure what he does besides being a pretty boy. Yeah. I work with both after my classes, and we all seem to get along. Man, I wish you were here. College is amazing. So much free pizza. Pow pow.
Oh, I know that face. What's wrong? Caitlyn pinches the bridge of her nose.
It's such a big campus. I never thought she would run into my friends.
Vi chuckles full-heartedly. I feel like there's more to it than that.
They're kinda idiots sometimes. Trust me, I love them, but damn, one is staring at himself in a beaker's reflection and the other is sleeping on any surface.
Huh, small world. Vi simply shrugs. She secretly wonders if they like to drink, and if so, they should all get together and play drinking games.